Okay. Well, I'm definitely glad to have you here. I'm Dr. Denny. I'm the medical director for River Cities Cardiology, and we are a large cardiology practice. We have a practice manager who is over the business side. Myself, I'm over the medical side, but I'm also over medical and business side as well as the senior physician within our practice. We are only interviewing a handful of medical assistants from ECPI University because we do have an educational partnership with them, and so we do like to give them priority when we are interviewing for medical assistant positions. But at the same time, it is no guarantee that just because we have an educational partnership with ECPI that we're going to hire their graduates. But because we've had a strong relationship with them in the past, we do honor that agreement, that educational partnership, and we give their students first opportunity to fill positions that we have within our practice. So please tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Vanessa. I'm currently enrolled at the ECPI University Medical Assistant Program. Um, I am a very hard worker. I have a passion about doing EKGs and cardiology. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about what you have had on campus class-wise. What's the curriculum like at ECPI University?
It's very hands-on, which I do appreciate. We do definitely do EKGs. We have done phlebotomy, billing and coding. We're able to get different certifications.
Do you have any of those certifications?
I do not have any yet, but I will be sitting for my EKG tech certification, CPT. I plan on earning all 7 certifications before I do finish the program.
Well, it seems like you're at the end of the program now. How come you didn't earn any certifications at this point?
I just wanted to make sure I knew all the information.
But wouldn't it have made more sense to have taken the certifications immediately after you completed the coursework in each of those classes?
You're correct. I just am the type of person who takes more time. I need to be able to study more. I understand that I did take the classes, but like I said, I like to study more at home, get the proper tools that I need to take that certification. That's why I haven't taken it yet.
Okay. What about your attendance and dependability? Can I count on you if I ask you to be the first person in the office every day, since you would be the brand new medical assistant that we would hire? One of their responsibilities would be to open up the practice to get everything started before we start seeing patients at 7 o'clock sharp. We see patients for cardiopulmonary rehab, and their first appointments are at 7 in the morning, so we need to have our doors open, our computer systems ready. We need to have all of the day-to-day things that help our practice manage billing and coding, revenue cycle management. We have to have all of that online before we get here and actually start seeing patients. So tell me about your track record regarding dependability.
So with attendance at school, I did have a tough time attending on time. But as far as my track record with my jobs outside of that program, I've never had any problems with being on time. I always arrived early, got what I needed done. For that, I never had any complaints from my employers. But school was a different story. But like I said, as far as my work outside of school, I've always been dependable. I've always been recommended by managers when I have gotten jobs. So I think that being on time for you would not be a problem for me.
Okay, I'm kind of hearing two different stories though, that school was an issue, but your employment, uh, that you were on time there, that only to me sounds like you were dependable 50% of the time. Is that going to be the case?
That's not going to be the case. I'm very adamant about where I need to be. I will admit, I'll be honest, I did have some struggles in school, so that did get in the way of me being late to school. Like I said, I've always got my work done. So for you, that would not be a problem. I would be very dedicated into what I need to do, and I wouldn't make that a problem for being on time.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Um, part of the interview process is going to be a shadowing interview. And this is a cardiology practice, and you mentioned you have a love of cardiology. Let's go ahead and incorporate some of that into our interview process. I would like you to go over to that whiteboard, and there is a marker over there. I would like you to show me an EKG tracing and then tell me all of the parts of the EKG, please.
So right here is the P wave, and then right here I have the Q, R wave, S, and T waves.
Okay, can you tell me about what each of those represents?
So the P wave represents the atrial repolarization. Um, um, T I know is atrial and ventral. Atrial atrial and ventral depolarization and repolarization. Um, so I believe the S is ventral repolarization. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
I'm interviewing you for a position. You're not asking me if things are right and wrong.
Okay, so P, I'm just gonna say P is atrial repolarization. S is ventral depolarization, and T is atrial repolarization.
Okay. What about, you mentioned phlebotomy as well. Can you tell me what's the order of the draw? If we have a patient and I give you an order, what are the order of the tubes that we would utilize for a phlebotomy procedure? Mm-hmm. What if I've got a patient that is a diabetic and I need a glucose? What tube am I going to use for that?
Light green, light green, and blue.
Okay. Obviously, we're a cardiology practice. We deal with a lot of patients who are going to have hypertension. What are the guidelines for blood pressures to determine if a patient is normotensive, prehypertensive, hypertensive? What are my blood pressure guidelines?
So the normal would be 180 for the systolic and and 60 for the diastolic, and hypertension would be 200 and above for the systolic, and the diastolic would be 40 or below.
Okay, have a seat. Give me an example of what you would do if you had a patient that when you were reconciling their medications, they started to tell you that anytime they bend over to tie their shoes, they get dizzy. How would you describe that? What is that phenomenon called?
If they're bending over to tie the shoe and they get dizzy, you said,
Mm-hmm.
they might have high blood pressure that could be causing it. It's really all I can think of right now. If they have extreme like high blood pressure, and they're getting dizzy and out of breath when they're bending over to tie the shoe.
Okay. All right, Vanessa. Well, I think we've heard enough, and we will definitely be in touch. All right. Thank you so
very
much.
much.